Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Friday, April 28th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to the number 3 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to the spirit animal, we are working with the buffalo energy. The buffalo energy rarely ever comes out, and I'm used to seeing it more in like the pick a card readings and stuff. But with the buffalo energy, my thought is immediately like with the lightning in the background. So naturally, I would gravitate towards one thought. But with the lightning in the background, it's bringing me to Thor. Thor, this I'm sure it's like a Marvel story of someone who realizes that they have superpowers. But I remember seeing the Netflix show and looking at the buffalo and thinking about the Thor energy. The first thing that's coming to mind about it is, say, a person waking up to certain things about themselves. And in the process of waking up to certain things within themselves, certain gifts, certain abilities, it's like the confusion that a person will experience as everybody else cannot relate, as everybody else don't understand. And then there's a battle going on where you might feel like you're crazy because we're so used to being validated by others. We're so used to everybody co-signing our reality. And then when that shift happens and no one can no longer co-sign or validate your reality, it just becomes so terrifying where it's like a person has to really be strong or else it's so easy to like snap and lose it. And when I say snap and lose it, to me, we live in a vibrational realm. Everything is vibration and frequency. And we can experience something devastating, and maybe it's not so devastating based on someone else observing it. But from that experience, it could lower our vibration because it's like something happens and it's like we get stuck within whatever it is that happened to where we can't think out of it. It's like, to me, falling into what I would call the sunken place. It's like falling into a sunken place and it's like can't think out of it. And then from there, we start creating our reality and becoming paranoid and start seeing things in a way that's limiting and defeating. And then it's like a spiral downhill. Because it's important that we realize that, like, yeah, bad things happen, but how we choose to perceive them, how we choose to see things, how we choose to see ourselves in the world is where our power lies. And it's so easy to go through a rough patch and then start seeing everything in a negative light, and more and more and more of that is created. So I'm thinking about, like, yeah, a person on their journey of waking up, and then in the process of waking up, and when I say waking up, becoming aware that, you know, I'm just a dreamer and all of this is a dream. And I get to wake up in the dream and create my reality in the dream, opposed to, say, being a part of this dream and the dream is moving me instead of me moving myself around in this dream. Instead of me choosing the experiences that I'll have, it's like on autopilot, something else is creating my experiences. So becoming aware that most people are on autopilot and something else is creating their experiences. and becoming aware of that. And then from that, feeling a bit lonely, isolated, and then even paranoid, and then playing into the paranoia, and then that creating more reasons to be paranoid and more reasons to be isolated. And then before a person know it, it brings me to the whole snap vibe, where it's like a person finds themselves stuck and isolated, and then waking up to the dream world, but then becoming a prisoner within it. The buffalo energy is bringing me to the importance of stability. The buffalo energy is bringing me to the importance of being strong. And to me, when it comes to say like going through different moments and layers of falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. But I feel like if we're committed to the path, it's like the fall asleep, waking up, the back and forth. It's like you're slowly moving up a channel. You're moving up, but there's push and pull backs. But to me, when it comes to say strength in it all, it goes back to thoughts and realize and never allowing myself to fall into the hole of a negative thought and allow it to be my truth. It's like always finding the rainbow at the end of the tunnel, they'll call it. Always finding a reason to say thank you. That's it. Gratitude. Always finding a reason to say thank you. I feel like that alone is like the most powerful thing ever, and the thing that will keep us moving forward. Always finding a reason to say thank you, because it's impossible to feel genuinely grateful and experience low vibration, low frequency at the same time. It is impossible to feel genuinely grateful, because in the moment of feeling genuinely grateful, we feel abundant, we feel blessed, we are in receptive mode. The card associated with the energy is the Six of Swords in the reversal position. In the upright position, this person is moving away from, say, rough waters here. And there's swords on the boat, so thoughts has everything to do with what they're moving away from. With the swords on the boat, this person's moving away from something. It's like a person getting out of a breakup, but then they keep attracting the same kind of partner over and over again, because even though they left the partner, the thought process, the mindset keeps following them everywhere they go. I think of the person that keeps, leaving job to job, and it's the same thing over and over again because the mindset follows them everywhere. I think about when I felt like I wanted to get away from where I was living and move to a whole nother state and start over, and had the same experiences in a different way, because it wasn't the place, it wasn't the people, it was me. The mindset kept following me. In the reversal position, the Six of Swords in the reversal position brings me to say a person probably choosing to either stay in a situation because they feel stuck, they feel overwhelmed, they feel like there's no way out. And when I look at the moon is conjunct Lilith, one of the Lilith placements. So when I think about the moon conjuncting Lilith, the Lilith placement, with Lilith energy, I think about how Lilith was once villainized. Villainized in the sense that with the story of Lilith, Lilith was Adam's first wife, and Adam wanted to dominate Lilith, and Lilith wasn't having it. And when Lilith went to God to tell God what Adam did, instead of God being a fair mediator in the story, God took Adam's side, casted Lilith out, and associated her with demons. And when I think about the Lilith story, like wherever Lilith is in our natal chart, it's where we've experienced being villainized when really we were the victim in that situation. And with Lilith conjunct Leo in the sign, with Lilith conjunct the moon in the sign of Leo today, to me, this could bring a rise to situations around, say, childhood, feeling villainized in childhood when really one was the villain, feeling villainized by the mother, feeling cast out and rejected by the mother, the home, or the family, or with it in Leo, feeling ashamed for shining, feeling ashamed for standing out, feeling ashamed for being different is some things that can come up with the moon conjuncting that. And I feel like from having that experience, sometimes it's so easy to paralyze to the experience and to the emotions and feel like that is our reality, that is a truth, when no, we've experienced something and it leaves an imprint, it leaves a strong imprint. It's like getting a cut that leaves a strong scar. And from the imprint, every time we experience something similar, we experience triggers where once something similar happens, it's like a reminder, it's like an alarm. And we can easily project the same situation over and over again in new places with different people because it's happened once. We expect it, and from us expecting it, then we recreate it with different people. We find new actors to participate in the movie, and they play a role and don't even realize the role that they're playing. And with the Six of Swords energy, to me, that's like getting stuck in that frequency and choosing to have an experience over and over again, and not even realizing that we're choosing to have that experience over and over again. But instead, we can become aware of the patterns that happen within our lives when it comes to things. And from recognizing the pattern, we can recognize places where we need to focus our attention. And when we focus our attention in those places, instead, start looking for reasons why we're grateful, why we feel special, why life is working for us, why the Creator has our best interests at heart and has our back in everything. The moon is being squared by the Sun and Mercury in Taurus. Sun, Mercury, Uranus in Taurus. Mercury is in retrograde. So the Sun conjunct Mercury in Taurus, we're reflecting on our identity and the things that we own and our values based on the things that we own, or what the world thinks of us based on how far we've come, where we are, and what we have achieved. And with that squaring the moon in Leo wants to be childlike, expressive, but at the same time it wants to lead. And this is where we might feel overwhelmed, where a person might have a dream but feel like they might not have what it takes to fulfill their dream. Because with the Lilith placement conjunct the moon, it's like thinking about the past and how one was rejected and how one wasn't enough and how one may have felt pushed out. And then from those emotions, it's like the Six of Swords, the thoughts keep following the person on the boat everywhere they go. So from those thoughts, we keep expecting and recreating that reality. But then from becoming aware that, yes, this thing happened to me once, and from it happening to me once, it's left an imprint. And after the first time, I have created every moment after because I've expected it. To me, that takes one's power back. That's where the dreamer realizes that this is just a dream. That's when the dreamer wakes up in the dream. And instead of being carried and manipulated controlled by the dreamer wakes up within the dream and realize every emotion that they choose to experience is a choice. The moon is positively aspected by Venus in Gemini and Jupiter in Aries. So the moon is a part of a trine between Venus and Jupiter in Gemini and Aries. And when I look at the positive aspect being made to the moon, to me, it's like the curiosity and the focus on self that's necessary in order to make things happen, but how we get distracted and only focus on self in the sense of trying to become what others want us to be, trying to become what others think is best. It's like Mercury in retrograde in Taurus and reflecting on the social norms and the definitions of success in relations to those social norms, and then beating up ourselves because we don't fit in boxes, that we're not even supposed to fit in the first place. So when it comes to, say, the energies in today, going back to the buffalo energy and bringing me to, say, Thor, that show I saw once that has to do with that Marvel character. I think it's Marvel. Comic book character might be a better way to say it. But I think about Thor, and I think about what stood out to me most about that, what I saw, was when this person was waking up to their abilities, to their truth. So to me, waking up to our abilities is waking up to our truth. And then dealing with the challenges of life when you wake up to your truth and things start to not make sense. And at the same time, feeling completely alone in it all. But with the Six of Swords energy, to me, it brings me to say the most important thing to shed, like a snake shedding their skin, is the thought processes that keeps us stuck, the thought processes that keeps us limited, the thought processes that makes us feel powerless. So you guys, when it comes to say today, today is the 28th, and 2 + 8 adds up to number 1 vibration. The number 2 is nurturing. The number 8 is a traditional systematic energy, and 2 + 8 is 1. So it brings me to say leadership, wanting to lead, wanting to take control of our lives in some way. But at the same time, getting caught up in the systems and the cycles of doing so. I think of a person who makes up their mind that they want to, say, lose weight, but then they have to keep fighting the cravings and the habits that has got them into the position that they fell into, where now they're trying to get out of. So it's like realizing the conditionings, realizing the routines. Like, so this is where a person realizes, I'm not really hungry, it's just a habit to eat when I feel this way. I'm not really hungry, it's just natural to want to eat when I'm bored. Becoming aware of the triggers that pull us in to, say, thinking a certain way, and then realizing that we have a choice. We have a choice on how we choose to respond and how we choose to think, where we choose to place our energy, where we choose to place our attention, where we choose to spend our time. All of those things are within our control, and those things help to influence and create our reality. And the day adding up to the number 3 vibration, and with Friday being ruled by Venusian energy and Venus is in Gemini. Gemini is very similar to the number 3, as in this energy is very curious and childlike. So with the energies in today, it could lead you down the rabbit hole as far as having, you're curious about things. You want to understand things on a deeper level. You have questions. But at the same time, Venus squares Neptune, and Neptune is that dream. Neptune pulls us into that dream realm where we're able to visualize something before manifesting it. But with Venus and Gemini, we're too curious about too many things in order to focus on one thing long enough to see it through. But Venus does positively aspect the moon in Leo and Jupiter in Aries. So Venus is a part of something that will allow us to, say, think of ourselves in a heroic way, fantasize about, ourselves achieving our wildest dreams, even if we might lack focus. To me, with the energies in today, I think the energies are good for, writing things down, journaling. I feel like on certain days, journaling is the best thing we can do, because the mind is so curious, and as it explore many options, focusing and seeing something through might seem almost impossible. But to write down all of the great ideas is beneficial, because whenever I write down my great ideas, I realize after a while there's a pattern, and all of these ideas are coming together and saying one thing. So from writing down your great ideas that will come in today, you'll realize that they're all coming together and saying one thing. And when the time is right, you can act on these ideas and move towards that one thing that means so much to you, that one thing that you're trying to create, within this moment, the one thing that you're trying to create an experience from. So yeah, when it comes to the energies in today, enjoy that creative aspect of it, but don't allow yourself to get bummed out as your inner world goes back and forth between feeling powerless because you're reflecting on where you are as far as the social norms and the social standards that create the definition of success that most of us try to live up to. that's something that could cause you to feel bummed out. But don't allow that to get the best of you, because all of that is set up for just that. And to, not make the dreamer realize that this is all a dream and they can wake up and create the reality that they want. You guys, such a pleasure sharing this message with you as usual. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my weekly exclusive content only on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. Please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a yellow heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.